The new Simrad and Lowrance RECON Trolling Motors have caught the entire marine industry off guard, along with all their competitors. I was even surprised to hear about this, and I get tons of insights from Navico before anything gets released, which I was kind of a little bit upset about, to be honest with you. But anyways, I do have some other insights I'm going to be sharing with you guys on these trolling motors that you guys should know about before going in to buy one. They are going to be linked down below in the description. Keep in mind, these trolling motors, this video is being made at the end of 2024. They're not expected to hit the market until the beginning of 2025. So you might want to just go ahead and put your name down on a pre-order and ask to be contacted when one comes in. Anyways, with that being said, let's talk about the scope of these companies first. So Simrad and Lowrance are the same company, in case you guys didn't know. They have a lot of the same things. Now, let me just give you a quick example of this that a lot of you guys might not have realized. Look at Lowrance's radars, the Halo 20, Halo 20 Plus, and Halo 24. All closed dome radars. They also, oddly enough, the only difference between them and the Simrad Halo 24, 20 Plus, or 20 is just the first name and what's written on it. Because they're the exact same radars. They're the same company. They share a lot of the same technologies. And Lowrance is more geared towards freshwater, whereas Simrad is more geared towards saltwater, cruising and yachting and saltwater fishing. While they also have another brand called B&G, which is geared towards sailing. And then they also have their CMAP brand, which for the moment is just an okay charting brand. It's good enough to put in your unit to get you started for navigation. We'll put it that way. Anyways, beyond that, Navico, which owns all those companies I just mentioned, is owned by an even bigger company called Brunswick. You may or may not have heard of them. They own Boston Whaler, Sea Ray, Motor Guide, which, think about it, Motor Guide, and they make trolling motors, and also Mercury and many other companies as well. The list just goes on. It's a huge company. In fact, I actually think it's the biggest marine company in the world. I might be wrong there, but I believe so. Anyways, with that being said, let's think about where they already had trolling motor experience with Lowrance and their Ghost series for freshwater. They had their other brand, Motor Guide, that also made freshwater and saltwater trolling motors. So they're not as fresh off the street as most people would have thought they were. And obviously, a big company like Brunswick is going to use all their technologies to their advantages over their competitors. So you see they have experience from Motor Guide, experience from the Lowrance Ghost series trolling motor. So they've already had a little bit of experience. They're not fresh to the market like everybody thinks they are. So let's talk about what's the benefits of these trolling motors, what's so good about them. We don't really have a lot of information to compare them to other brands because they're kind of new so far. But as time goes on, we'll get more information, and I'm sure I'll probably be one of the first people to give you a detailed inside comparison on the benefits of these brands compared to other trolling motors and how good they are. They're still new. There's only been a few that have been used in product testing, and that's about it. Now, there's different shaft lengths from 48 to 72 inches in freshwater, 48, 54, 60, and 72 for freshwater. Saltwater is 54, 60, and 72. That's good depending on your boat. I would say up until like a 26, 27 foot boat, depending on how high you sit off the water with your bow. And that just depends on the boat. Anyways, there is the freshwater side, which Lowrance has both the freshwater and saltwater motors. And then Simrad only has saltwater motors just because Simrad, like I mentioned, is geared towards saltwater fishing, not freshwater fishing, which is why you see freshwater and saltwater for Lowrance. Now, the difference between these two trolling motors is that the saltwater is recommended for use in saltwater. That's why it says SW for saltwater and FW for freshwater. I know people are probably going to be commenting they can be used in both. Yes, they absolutely can be used in both conditions, or it is recommended that you buy the other one, the one that you're going to be using, example, the saltwater one for saltwater use and the freshwater one for freshwater use. That way, they're geared more to those things. Now, something I do want to mention is you might be like, well, they can be used the same. Then here's a question for you. Why is the price the same for less stuff? Like example, the freshwater one, the big difference in that is that it includes a wireless foot pedal. They all include the remote, the joystick free steer remote. And the freshwater one also includes an HDI nose cone, which is a couple $100 in features added on, and it's the same price. So you would think if it was just as good for saltwater, then you would just take those accessories, sell them, and have a little cash on the side and get the same thing. But that's not the case because Talking with my buddies at Navico, they've told me trust me, it's engineered more. There's certain features on it that are more geared towards saltwater, and for that reason, that's why the price is the same. They said, believe me, if the quality was the exact same, the price would be less. Anyways, with that being said, let's talk about some of the other features on it. They boast 120 pounds of thrust at 36 volts and 97 at 24 volts. Now, that actually does beat the whole entire industry. You look at Minn Kota, their most recent Minn Kota Taroa Riptides boast 115 pounds of thrust. So they just added 5 more pounds of thrust on top of what Minn Kota have. So they have more thrust in those trolling motors. Then their remote is also really cool. It's got a joystick remote, which is different from most of the other brands. So you have a joystick that you can now make adjustments to your trolling motor. It's the free steer remote. There's also the ability to make 1 degree adjustments, which allows for great precision. And if anybody has great precision in terms of like compass and stuff like that, it's going to be Navico with their compasses. I'm talking about B&G, Lowrance, and Simrad, because I have Simrad Precision 9 compass on my boat, and that thing is dead accurate. If there's one brand that I would trust the most to make a compass, it's got to be Simrad. So they definitely have a great compass on this trolling motor. I'm already telling you that it's better than the other brands like Garmin and Minn Kota, because they've already came out of another industry with it, and they just combined their technologies and obviously made something really great. So they definitely are very accurate trolling motors. I'm going to be able to tell you this before a lot of them have even been reviewed, just because of my experience with Simrad in the past. Another thing is these shafts are carbon fiber infused composite, so it's a really high quality shaft. They have a lifetime warranty on the shaft and a 3-year warranty on the motor, which is really great. I mean, it's not often that you break a shaft, but just know if your shaft breaks, you get a lifetime warranty on it, so that's excellent. So with that being said, that pretty much caps this video. We're gonna end it right here. There's going to be more videos on this in the future, so be sure to subscribe. If you're watching this right now and you're not subscribed, I honestly don't know why you're not. You just need to subscribe. It's just that simple. Anyways, be sure to hit the like button as well. And with that being said, signing off, and until next time.